Lou, you ready? Mark polling cars, 1, 2, 3, 4. Got sound? Okay. Set there, Chuck? Yes, no? All right, we thank you for joining us here today. I know the Erie County Clerk has an important press conference as well, and we want to have an opportunity for media to hear from both. So I am not going to say a whole lot. We are here to make an announcement with regards to the Trailblazing Women of Western New York project, something we announced previously. And I am very pleased to be joined by members of our steering committee as well as members of the Erie County Commission on the Status of Women. And thank you always to Karen Gambino from Deaf Access Services for providing the American Sign Language to us today. But I am going to turn it over now to our Commissioner of Public Advocacy, Karen King. We'll go into more details about the project, why we're here today, and why we certainly still appreciate help from the general public as we move forward with this project. So, Commissioner King.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, County Executive Polenkars. Thank you for joining us to actually acknowledge the 100th anniversary of women's suffrage, which occurs this year, and an announcement about our Trailblazing Women project. August 26th marked the 100th year since the adoption of the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, a date that is widely recognized as a key milestone in the long march towards greater gender equity in the United States. We are grateful to all of our foremothers and sisters for their sustained efforts in demanding the right to vote, many of whom would not be able to exercise that right until decades later. But there is one thing we know for certain: women will continue to persist in ensuring that all women have access to the ballot box. Now I'd like to introduce, before we go into detail about the Trailblazing project, I'd like to introduce our Trailblazing Women Steering Committee member, Dr. Lori Quigley.
As a member of the Trailblazing Women of Western New York Initiative and an enrolled member of the Seneca Nation, I ask that you join me in acknowledging that as we gather today, we stand on the ancestral lands of the Seneca and other indigenous communities who stewarded this land throughout generations. In doing so, we honor the sovereignty of the Haudenosaunee, or Six Nations, as a means to demonstrate respect and correct the stories and practices that erase indigenous peoples' history and culture by inviting and honoring truth. As trailblazing women, we believe that truth and recognition are critical components to building connections across all barriers of heritage and differences. We offer land acknowledgement as part of the conscious effort to affirm our commitment to be better stewards of the land on which we stand, and to pledge to work in partnership with a spirit of reconciliation, mutual respect, and collaboration as we appreciate and regard the traditions of the diverse cultures that comprise our community in Erie County. Yahweh.
Thank you, Dr. Quigley. The Trailblazing Women of Western New York Monument Project will be creating a series of narrative vignettes featuring our first three trailblazers, Louise Bethune, Mary Talbert, and Geraldine Sittah Green. The narratives will be recorded later this month and will be featured on several of our social media platforms, including our Commission website and Facebook page, as well as our Trailblazing Women website and Facebook pages, and on the Erie County YouTube site. The narratives will provide all of us with an opportunity to learn more about these amazing women and bring to life their trailblazing story. Their stories are being voiced by three very talented area women. Bernadette Scott, who's from the Seneca Nation from the Cattaraugus Territory, will voice Geraldine Sittah Green. Bernadette is a graduate student in American Studies at UB and working on her master's, and is the host of a daytime radio show on WGWE, the Seneca Nation-owned radio station. Margot Davis, a versatile voice talent and award-winning actor with over 3 decades of professional voice work and national and regional clients, will voice Louise Bethune. Margot portrays as part of the Forest Lawn American Historical Tour. And lastly, Mary Craig, an actress, historian, and advocate for health in the African American community, will voice Mary Talbert. Ms. Craig uses her talents as an actress to preserve local history. She performs as Mary Talbert on the Forest Lawn American Historical Tour in conjunction with the African American Historical Society. All 3 women have graciously donated their time and talents to this very important project. Many thanks to you. Please stay tuned for news about the project launch in late September, and I want to thank the County Executive for his continued support of this very important project and the entire Trailblazing Women's Steering Committee, many of whom are standing right behind me, for your tireless commitment, as well as the Erie County Commission on the Status of Women. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Commissioner. As the Commissioner noted, this is a very important project as we stand here 100 years since women were not given the right to vote. They took the right to vote, and they should have taken it. Shouldn't have taken that long for them to have the right to vote in our country. And we celebrate the actions of the suffragists of the past, as well as those that are fighting for equality and against racial injustice and gender injustice today. Are there any questions with regards to the project? Well, there are 3 monuments, and they're primarily located around the library, and I'll let Commissioner King talk a little bit more about that.
Thank you. Yes, currently the proposed site will be at the library. We are still finalizing the details. That is where the first 3 women will be placed. And if you want to get more information, you can go to our Trailblazing website, and you can suggest future statues to be honored. You can certainly also reach out and contact me directly here at Erie County through my email, karen.king@erie.gov, and I'd be happy to take recommendations from the public. We are in the process of funding the project. We've held several fundraising events, and we are hoping to continue to raise the funds. I'm sorry? How much we're short? We're short about $250,000, but we're working on it. Soon, within the next year, we remain hopeful. The statues? Well, we haven't finalized the design of the statues, but they will be representative. They won't be interpretive statues, so they will look similar to the actual women. We don't have the exact design nailed down yet. We're not sure if they're going to be in conversation. We're still working on those plans. We will go through a formal request for proposal process to engage artists to submit bids on the project. They can go directly to our Trailblazing Women of Western New York website, and there's a donate button right on the front page.
Very good. Any other questions? If you have any off topic, we'll take them to the side before you go across the street.
Okay, thank you, folks.
Thank you, ladies.